Hey guys, so this is Earthling again. One of the things that I've been thinking about recently is fate. And to be perfectly honest, I never believed in fate. I mean, there are the Greek tragedies about faith, about you're gonna end up being killed by your son, and then you decide, okay, well, I don't want to get killed by my son, so let me send him off, and then he lives in this unknown place and he comes back and then he throws a discus at that by accident hits you in the head and you die. And then the prophecy is fulfilled. I've always thought that those things are kind of just stupid. I thought that people, we're all malleable. We have all of these. I don't know if you ever watched Captain Kirk on Star Trek. A lot of times he would come in contact with some alien and he would be giving them this lecture about how varied and how many possibilities human beings have, and you can't predict this, and you can't, determine. We're not deterministic. We're completely chaotic, but chaotic in a good way. You just can't pin us down. And as I've gotten older, I realized that maybe that specific thing, you're going to die on a Friday, December 29th, is not really true, but a more general fate is probably very accurate. Because, like, right now, for example, the way that people in my life have died, the people around me that have died, some of them have died rather predictably. And when you see that happening, or you see problems occurring in someone's life, and, I'm not saying that I know everything. By all means, I don't know everything. But if you suggest something to someone and they're like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And in my life, for example, I change. Like, I used to smoke. I cut that out after 20 years. I was overweight. I cut that out. I didn't exercise very often. I made sure to start exercising. I have different plans that for things that I want in my life, like different skills. Like, I want to learn Korean. I started studying Korean every day. Or, I want to, different habits that I have, I will put something in place to try to fix it. So I know that it's really difficult. Quitting smoking was really difficult. Losing weight, starting to exercise. A lot of these things are really, really difficult. So I know that it's difficult for other people to do. Even when, when I told people in my life, hey, I'm going to quit. And then they called me on it because I was smoking. Oh my God. I didn't care. I just wanted the cigarette that I wanted at that moment. So I understand where other people are coming from. But in a lot of significant ways, I see where advice that I may have given someone, it works out. But the thing is that when you go back, and I mean, there are even certain things that I decided, let's say, for example, with respect to my uncle, I might realize that, oh, if I do a certain thing, like if I brush his teeth before I feed him in the morning, it's going to have a positive outcome. So let me do it. And then, 2 months down the line, I'm doing exactly the thing that I was doing before. Before I decided that this other thing was a better way to go. And a lot of these things, they don't matter. But if it's something that matters, I try to make sure, I'll put a reminder in my calendar every day. Like, for a while there, I used to burn stuff that I was cooking pretty often. you know? And I used to lock the keys uh, of the car that I was driving at least once a year. So every year, some part of the year, I would lock the keys in the car. And then I looked around and I was like, wait a minute. This person, they never lock their keys in the car. What are they doing? What is going on with them? And I realized, oh, they make sure to use the key to lock the door. So that way they can't lock the key in the car because they have to lock the door with the key. They never are going to lock it with the handle. They'll just push it in. Yeah, this is an old car, I guess. Newer cars, you don't have to do this. I really wouldn't know about newer cars too much. But so when I do that, then it never happens. I don't lock the key in the car anymore. Or I have a reminder frequently, set an alarm. Anytime you're cooking something, set an alarm. But there's a neighbor that I know, when I came back from university, boom, there he was. He was huge. I never knew that he was that huge. But you know what? I used to be huge. Once I did my bachelor's and I had a sedentary job and there was birthdays all the time, I would stuff my face because, I'm a student still. I was a graduate student. And free food. Eat, 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 eat. And it had happened to people that I had seen before I had graduated from undergrad. I saw them get a job at school and they just started putting on the weight. So that was me. It was pretty heavy. But then I looked at myself one day and I was like, this is not going to be me. And I tried to lose weight and it was really hard. But this guy, I guess he'd never really seen me heavy, so it wasn't like he would ask me. But he looked like he was going to get a heart attack. And eventually he got a heart attack and he died. And I was like, wow. But he was trying to lose weight, but not the real way, not the way that I eventually figured out, which is that you have to stop eating. You have to control what you eat. So he thought he could exercise his way into being thin. And I thought so for a while until, well, when I decided to lose weight, I eventually realized that I have to control my eating. And then there's my father. A long time ago when I was a kid, he drove like a crazy person. And he would drink a lot. And eventually he died. Both of those things, the worst case scenarios happened. He got into a really bad accident and he almost died. So then he couldn't drive anymore. But if he could have driven anymore, I'm sure he probably would have died by that means. And so that means was shut off. And then he was drinking. So eventually he died of that. And then I had like a cousin. And she had like COPD and she was supposed to lose weight, but she wasn't really trying. And then one day she's like asking me, so what do you do? We had to take her to the hospital and like, what do you do when you have high blood pressure and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, you really have to try and exercise a little bit at least. And I guess all of these are lifestyle, these diseases that I'm talking about, but it goes even beyond that. It goes to the point of, can someone take care of themselves? And it seems like, what I mean by can they take care of themselves, what I mean is, do you save enough money so that you can pay your rent? If you look around and you see someone, is this the kind of person who just spends willy-nilly and racks up debt and makes enemies so that sooner or later one of them is going to come for you? Or are you the kind of person who just does not eat enough? You don't sleep enough? Or you're the kind of person who smokes too much? Or that, I guess, is the fate that I'm thinking of. If you don't, And I guess the most frustrating thing for me is that I can't save these people without giving up my entire life to try to save them. I would have to, because for example, right now, I spend a lot of time saving my uncle, making sure that he's okay, that he's fed, that he's clean, that he's, he sleeps okay, all of these things. And that's what I would have to do for another person, because even if I tell them, hey, even if I encourage them, hey, just like I did, they're bound to slip back into old habits and just do what they are comfortable doing. And it's I don't know how to just be okay, but I think a lot of the time now I just end up not thinking about the person until I think about them. And I realize that for the people that are closest to me, I have to fight them a lot of times. So if it's someone who's not very close to me, how can I even save them when fighting them means that it will probably end our relationship? I can't. I can only fight the people who I have a strong enough relationship with so that I can counter their detrimental habits and still have a relationship with them. So, like my close siblings, or sibling, my sister, I guess I can fight with her, but then even sometimes I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm done with you. And I guess I'm not gonna be done with her. I'm gonna slide right back in the very same way, it's my fate to try to fight her to save her, or my mother, or whoever else. It's my fate because I can't not try to save the people who I'm close to. At any rate, that's it for me, guys. That's what I was thinking about today. I was thinking, you know, what would it be like to have a discussion or a monologue, because that's what I'm doing, about any crazy thing that pops into my head. Now, I really like, and speaking of like, if you could like this audio, give it a thumbs up if you do like it, or a thumbs down if you don't. That would really be cool. And if you could subscribe as well, that would be cool as well. I was thinking, do I really have at my disposal an ability to talk about just anything? I mean, what if I did something like this on cobwebs? And what I thought about cobwebs? And what I know about spiderweb. Like, there's the sticky kind, there's the dry kind. They have different strengths. And yeah, how much do I know about cobwebs? The proteins, and why can't they manufacture cobwebs already? I mean, you take the genes out of some spiders, you put them into some yeast, and you have spiderweb, and you could use it to make stuff. Why don't we have like clothes made out of spiderwebs already? Seems like it should be here. But yeah, could I have a whole discussion about that? Or about paint, for example? Anyway, I don't want to go too far into that. It's a lot. It takes so much longer to write something. And then when I read it, it feels like, okay, this is so wooden. But at the same time, I'm able to draw in hours and hours worth of thinking into that wooden conversation. To me, it feels more rounded than an off the cuff discussion. I don't know. I guess I'll just try different things and see how they work out. So like, comment, and subscribe if you will. Thank you. Bye.